Got to take the opportunity on a Sunday to come to work. I've got the boss mixing gel coat. So we're actually mixing up some flow coat for the final, hopefully the final spray up of our bows. Now I've been in here fairing this morning and I did a massive fairing session a few weeks ago. I think I did about 8 hours of just sanding on here to fair these bows down. And we've got a nice little transition line here from the faired to the bow itself to the actual original boat. But as you can see, we've got it pretty smooth. We've got it in the cells all masked up. We've already sprayed this once. In fact, I think I put this my third go at getting it right. There's a couple of areas there that I hope to fair out in the final polish, but we'll get these all sprayed up today and hopefully I can remove all this stuff and then go on to final polish. So Janet has come in today to help me mix up, and this is pretty much a massive effort to just get this all done. So the sooner we get it done, we can get rid of the drop cloth we've got here on the deck and all the surrounding ancillary masking and the like that we've got all over the boat to try to, you know, mitigate some of the overspray that's going to happen. There tends not to be a lot of overspray. I do get a little bit, but it's not too bad. But if we cover up the deck, then we shouldn't affect the surface of the boat up there. You're the chemistry master though, Jen. Got it down pat, this flow coat, haven't you? Got the quantities absolutely spot on. So once again, 5% wax and styrene mixed into the gel coat, and we've learnt that we just do 1 cup at a time. We don't try to pour 2 in, because that way you end up with it catalysing in the gun and I get shorter working time. So the more you sort of keep pouring regular stuff in, the clearer your gun will stay. Okay, kitchen cabinet doors and drawer. Now I'm not actually gluing the cabinet drawers to the surround, but I'm gluing the surrounds together so that I can just then glue them to the module all level and then insert the doors later on. That's my plan. It seems to be a good one because I don't have a framing jig. I think Janet has rearranged my workshop at home and I can't find a bloody thing, but good job she does, because it's just a pigsty at the moment with me going back and forth from the factory back to home. But yeah, so what I'll do is I'll glue these parts in place all nice and square using the drawers and the cabinet doors as my jig. These ones are now glued in place and basically I've just taped them down. I'm going to leave them. There's no one coming in and out of the factory here today. Yesterday we had PK and Jenny here, and PK was welding here, so now he's gone. I've had a bit of a clean up and I'm able to sort of set up for woodworking, which is really nice to have a big table here like this that I can just do some certain projects as I'm working away on the boat up there. But yeah, they're looking pretty good. I think I've got the gaps pretty right. I've just got to get the hinges now for this one, and I'll have to get a big long piano hinge for this. I'm going to need piano hinges all over the boats. I've also thickened up this section here. I've actually glued an extra piece of DAR onto it, and that basically will thicken it up just to allow for the curvature in the mould. To finish off our galley, I've purchased a Panasonic convection microwave. It's about 1200 watts, so well within the realms of my inverter. Now, I didn't just want a microwave that's just going to sit inside a cupboard and look like it didn't belong. And we have a Smeg microwave oven, convection oven at home that's built in, and we love the look of it. And it's a 600mm wide one. Now the problem is you can't buy that one anymore. So one of the ideas we had was to move the one from home into the boat and then buy a new one for the house, because if we decide to rent the house out and take off for a few years, the one that we have at home is not very intuitive. So we thought we'd put a more standard one into that particular cavity at home, and then have the one here that Janet and I are very used to using, which is only 2 buttons, so it's a little bit difficult to use. But what actually happened was my cavity's not big enough. I've only got 567 wide before I get into that corner there, and it's not deep enough to carry the one that we have. It's almost 600 deep. So, and you've also got to allow a chimney at the back of the microwave. So we bought one that actually can be inbuilt, and the Panasonic one that we have actually has this surround, and it will look like an inbuilt one, but it's actually a freestanding one that'll sit down in here. So I've just marked out the area that has to be cut out, and I'll cut that out, and then the whole thing will sit recessed flush with the face of the module there. Nice, it's going to look absolutely fantastic. So I'll cut that out now, and as you can see, we're starting to move along. I've just glued up the frame for this particular unit here, and for the one over here that's going to have this door in it. Obviously we've got a mitered Tassie oak surround and a nice stainless one here. Now the other thing I do have to think about is ventilation. I'm going to have to put a vent in here and another one in the back to facilitate the heat that comes out of this particular microwave. They do recommend you have a chimney of some description, or a way for any sort of excess heat to escape. Plus the induction cooker will have ventilation as well if I do that. So that'll have probably a double stainless vent on here, particularly probably another one on the back there. We've got all the wiring in here. We've got a 15 amp plug for our induction cooker, and 10 gauge wire, and a 240 volt plug up in the back there for our microwave. So we're all set to put the thing in. I've just got to get it cut out, and we'll get into that now. This is our first real appliance to go in, our microwave oven, and there's going to be a bit of work to fit this, so I'm going to get started. I do have to retrofit a couple of parts onto it that belong with the surround to make sure that I get the correct venting of the heat that comes out of the back of it. One of the reasons why we bought this one is because it's got a really large oven space and depth of shelf. Cool, bling. Well, after cutting out the hole, it appears I have the wrong one. This surround doesn't fit our microwave. Although I swear that when I bought it online, it did. It's $300, so 200 US. From a major retailer here, so I'm hoping that when I appeal to their good sense and buy the other one, they'll take this one back. I'm happy to send it back and get my money back later, but it is the wrong one, and I swear when I bought the microwave, I matched the serial of the microwave, and luckily I've got a receipt and I've got all the freight and everything, and they're about an hour and a half away and on the way to Sam, so I could drop in technically and just raise Cain if they decide not to give me my money back. They should do. I mean, it's undamaged, obviously. It's had a test fit, and it's too small for the face of our microwave. God knows what happened there. It might have been a late night purchase, but you know, it's a mistake, and technically they should warranty that and send the right one. Of course, the one I need is about $250 more than this one. God knows how they justify that when it's just a bit of pressed stainless. Janet actually said to me this morning, don't stuff that up because that's going to be a really important cut when you cut that module, and I just hope that the new one is, yeah, I hope it's actually the right size. I'm going to have a gaping hole to feel far out. Not happy, and the reason why I didn't show you it not fitting is because I just lost my shit. Anyway, what do? You know, these things happen, and when you're buying online, it's so easy to buy the wrong component. That is the wrong surround. So, exciting day has just turned into a shit day. But anyway, this is how it's going to look. So you can see it in here in place, and yeah, it's a very nice microwave. It's actually good size. It doesn't overfill the zone, and nice and sort of discreet and out of the way. And the good thing is it's fairly simple to use, but yeah, bloody frustrating. I just hope the new surround fits it. It does have to lift up about probably 1.5 inches to match the surround, but I'm going to go home now, commiserate, and I'll get in contact with these guys and say, do you mind if I send it back? Bugger! Don't send a boy to do a man's job, and that is to buy the correct appliance for his galley. And why I've carefully said don't send a boy to do a man's job is because apparently when I finish this whole palaver, I've promised Janet that I will do more of the cooking and learn to cook more than I can. I've got a repertoire of a few meals, but not a lot. I'm not great at it. I don't enjoy cooking. I'd rather go and bloody, you know, watch the grass grow. Or this was to be my domain, and Janet's going to be the captain or the skipper. So and I'm pretty happy about that because, to be honest, I think I'm going to be too tired at the end to do anything else. But yeah, so total cock up. What do? But it is starting to take shape. At least it fits in the cabinet provided, and I'll just have to live with the idiocy that I did and buy the right thing. So in an attempt to save weight, we built our own galley. We've made our module, and I've installed a number of foam shelves and carcass in here that's all glassed in. So we've saved a lot of weight, and now I'm going to add it back in. You'll see here I've got some Corian. Now I was given about 4 pieces of Corian by Joel, our next door neighbour at the time. He had some left over, and they're about to ban it here in Australia. It's a little bit of knee-jerk reaction. However, I've now just cut this piece here. I haven't routed it or edged it or put a coping on it or some sort of a fiddle, but I've got to come up with a solution here. This piece here is not quite big enough. It will leave a join around about here for this tiny little slither on the end here. Now it is very visible there. However, I should be able to polish that out, and there is going to be a return on here with another top on it, whether it be Corian or whether it be timber, potentially Tasmanian oak, so it matches the rest of the boat. And I've just got to be careful I don't add too much weight. The whole weight of this top will be around about 35 kilos, but that has certainly been saved by the weight saving of the galley that I've installed here, which is probably only about 15 kilos in total. So X doors and equipment, obviously microwave ovens and things like that. But I'm just going to fit this part here. I'll just put this one together here. Now this will actually be screwed up into the Corian. I'm going to come up with some sort of an insert system. There is an insert system available. You silicone the thing down or Sikaflex it down with 5200 or something, but then you also can screw into it, and I don't want to be screwing up and through the actual material or the base layer. But there also, you have to remember, there's going to be a cutout of the induction stove there and the sink here. Now the sink join will be right here, almost smack bang in the middle of our 60 centimeter long double sink, and I'm going to end up with an overhang over here. So it's sort of a perfect piece, to be honest, and I'm really happy to have it. And I'm going to basically put this in. I think really the weight saving on the galley has allowed me to get away with this. If I had to put in a normal carcass kitchen here, or some type of timber kitchen, I certainly would not be doing this. But because I've done that, I'm really happy and pleased to advise that I'm able to put some Corian in. And the good thing is that it actually matches the upholstery. I should have matched the upholstery to the galley itself. So a good result. I think this is going to look really good. I'll just sit this in place and I can almost trace around the outline of the module and then go down and cut it. And of course I'm cutting it wet. I'm also cutting it with full respirators on, and even that piece there I hosed off before I brought it back up here. So try to do everything right, and obviously silicosis is an issue, but you know, in grand scheme of things in this boat, I've dealt with a lot of Cabasaw and the like, which is exactly the same stuff. Resin all has silica in it, where we're dealing with it in every aspect of our lives these days. Concrete, cement, concrete fibre products, and obviously we don't want to be going backwards into asbestosis and mesothelioma and silicosis, but really nice to be able to use this Corian. I'm so happy, and it's starting to really look nice in here with all the mess. But anyway, we're looking good. Got to remove the plastic protection, obviously cut it. Heavy stuff though. See what I mean here? It's tiny little slither, and I'll be able to hide that behind the return. I've got a bit of a discrepancy here, so where the wall is bowed, obviously because there's gel coat finish on here, so I'm going to have to cut the Corian to match the wall. Oh, you'll notice I'm absolutely drenched because I'm wet cutting it as well as washing it all down, so this has just been washed down. You've noticed I've got to cut it in a number of moves because I'm cutting it from underneath, and I've got to be careful, but I will ultimately route the edge with some sort of a light bull nose because I've had to cut it from underneath. I've got a little chip here, but I actually wanted a little routed edge on it anyway, so that's quite okay, and in fact that's going to be polished off regardless. So let's put in place how it looks. Oh, by the way, it's 40 degrees. Yeah, fuck, it's hot. Oh my God. It'll be the hottest day of the year. Be out there. Every freaking Sunday hot. That's good for everybody else. Not for me. Just I'm always here. Alright, let's have a look. This is where I work out I've made a massive mistake, or it's perfect. So that's spot on. So I've only got a little slither here to put in place. It's a bit of a shame, isn't it? Like 2 inches, it would have been all one piece. But the great thing about the acrylic that you glue this with along here is it's actually color matched, and then you can polish it back. So I've only really got a little joint here, and a little joint here with the sink. Over here on the area over here, the induction cooktop's going to be in there, so it's going to be cut out. So there's another 5 or 6 kilos I'll save. And yeah, the only thing is I ended up with a bit of a flat spot on the end, so I'm going to have to round this around with the router. And I don't have as much of an overhang here as I do over here, and the reason is that the piece is only 1100 long, so looks pretty nice. So I've got to be honest, I'm very happy. I've still got to get this angle right here. There's a tiny little bit to cut off here to match with the next bit, so I'll go in another bit and we'll cut that, and then should have the lot done. As you can see, this is the top of the microwave. I actually had to relocate the power point. So I've got a 15 amp power point here for my induction cooker. I've got another 240 volt, sort of 10 amp plug here for our microwave oven. I've actually just gone out and cut the Corian, so it's cut. You can see that I've cut it out for the induction cooker. I just hope it's right. I just did a quick test on the fiberglass and it looks pretty good. This has been monumental, the work on this. I've been going for about a week solid just on this galley. I cannot believe the amount of time it's taken. Even today, it took me 3 hours to relocate those power points. I had to do some wiring, move some stuff around, and obviously get them higher. The original power point was right down here and it would not have worked. I'm going to have to put a blanking plug in this one here. Probably should have just put a single in. I don't want any moisture from the heat from the cooking getting into that power point, so I'll buy a blank, like a child-proof version of it. The woodwork's looking really nice, really mighty fine. We've got a full-length piano hinge on this one here for that drawer that's going to fold down. It was going to be a drawer, but I saved a few $100 and it's going to be a fold down and I've got more access into the storage below. And here we've put in our dividers for our drawer units. We need to now trim the doors up and make them all right and get them all adjusted. They're all soft closed doors, and got the Corian ready to go. This is not light. However, it's probably about, I reckon all up my bench top's probably about, potentially about 30 kilos. So not all that bad really. I'm just going to be careful I don't damage my window or anything else. Careful I don't damage myself. She's heavy. I've got to be careful I don't damage the other piece of Corian too, because I'm relying on getting that a perfect fit. And you have to be a bit careful of this stuff because it is a bit brittle. I mean, although it's nice and thick, this sheet, ouch. You just got to be a bit careful on particular on edges and things because it can easily crack. All right, let's give it a crack. Let's hope this guy fits. It should. Oh, yes, that is cool. So you can see my combo here. We've got a 3000 watt induction cooker here, or induction stove. Has 2 zones. It's only a 2-zone one, but we can use the whole zone together. That's why I chose this particular one. It actually had that option to use this, what they call the flex zone. I've had to put the controls here. I could put them here. I'll talk to Janet about where she wants them. I think they're better here because you can actually stand here and see what you're doing rather than having to lean over this way to the controls. But I'll leave it with her. I didn't have enough width in my countertop here to put it lengthways. I would have liked it just there. That would have been ideal, or even better further over there away from the stairs. But for now, we're going to put in some sort of a pot fiddle on there. But yeah, that's looking really, really good. I've been a bit busy constructing this galley. It's taken me days, but I've sort of got the final iteration of it. It's going to have a shelf along there under the window, which is sort of in line with the original boat. Now, I've left a gap at the end here just to give us a little bit more room in the corner. Once you put a shelf in, you've sort of restricted yourself for a small coffee machine or even a jug or anything. This will be supported. This will be biscuit joined. You can see here I've got a bit of a rough edge here because it's not dead flat against the wall because the wall is not straight. So there may be a small Corian edge, routed edge, or a radius edge. Not really sure how I'll do that. I might route some Corian and glue that in place. But yeah, that's the final look. I like it. I think it's pretty nice. It's pretty reasonably classy, and it'll certainly serve well as a small servery on the end. I've got to trim a bit off the end here. Actually, there's probably about 20 mil to go off the end there, just to sort of blend it in the rest of it, and then I can come in and glue it all together. We're going to biscuit join it, and then we're going to glue it together and clamp it together in place. And that's it. That's pretty much the final view.